What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It is an absolutely beautiful fall day here in Findlay, Ohio, and I'm hanging out in the beer shed getting ready to check out a new beer. Now, the beer I have today is called Faxe Premium, and this is from the Faxe Brewery. And it says this is from Fakse, F-A-K-S-E, Denmark, but I picked this up when I was in Brantford, Ontario, Canada over the summer. If you recall, the Ginger Yeti and I went up to Shane's Craft Beer Reviews area over there to Ontario. I guess the Ontario side of Niagara Falls for the beer reviewers reunion. And before we went there, the Yeti and I stopped in Brantford to visit Brew Watts from FactsForSnacks, or BeerForBreakfast FactsForSnacks, and Watts on the Grill. And while we were there, we hit one of the beer shops, not the actual good LCBO, because that was shut down because they were on strike the weekend we were there, of course. We went to the generic kind of beer store, and you're able to get mixed cases of kind of these pounders of, I don't know, macro-style beers. And this one here is 5%, and it was kind of funny. The Yeti and I both picked one of these up because we were going to do a duo review. And then when we looked at them later, we realized the one that he got was a 10% one, and the one that I got was a 5% one. So I guess the same beer, but different ABVs. So, you know, a little bit interesting there. Now, when I look at this, what does it say? Ingredients: water, barley, malt, hops. Not a whole lot, but it does say brewed in Toronto, Ontario, by Brasserie Ontario, I guess, for Royal Unibrew out of Denmark. So I'm guessing that this is brewed all over the world by, you know, different people brewing it for Royal Unibrew. So, you know, it's kind of what we're dealing with there. I'm guessing this is just going to be like a macro lager, nothing too crazy. I have seen this Faxe before when I was in England. I've seen these in Europe, but I'm not sure I've ever tried them. Now, normally I try literally anything that I've never had. I try to buy it and try it, but somehow I've never picked one of these up. So this will make a perfect WTF Wednesday video. And again, for those of you who are new to the channel, WTF Wednesday is the one day a week when I showcase a beer I normally wouldn't. So sometimes I do beers from the big boys like Bud Miller and Coors. Sometimes I try interesting offerings from microbreweries, and more recently I've been trying to get them passport stamps up with the international beers. This one, again, it's odd. I guess it's international to me, but I don't know if it counts as Danish or Canadian. So it's obviously a Danish brewery, but brewed in Canada. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's give it a shot. 5% ABV, which is a bit low. I mean, I guess, you know, if you're trying to buy cheaper lagers just to get messed up, which is what I think a lot of these are, 5% is a bit low for our market. I mean, I know in Europe, a lot of the beers are lower ABV, so maybe 5 is a big boy beer, but in America, 5% is pretty pedestrian. Now, let's go right in for the nose. Adjuncty. Not terrible, but not great. Kind of odd, because it just says water, barley, malt, and hops. I mean, there's no corn or anything. But it still gives off like a slightly adjuncty smell. Now, some reviews I saw, I think I looked on Untappd, this had a 2.98 with almost 86,000 check-ins. And I've had 9 friends try this, and their reviews were between 2.5 and 3.5 out of 5. Beer Advocate, 2.88, so very similar, with a 68 overall score of poor. Couldn't find anything on IBUs, 5 ABV. Now, as far as the color, it looks okay. I mean, kind of a light color. I don't know, maybe like a 5 again, like a pale gold. Bubbles, not super carbonated. You get a fair amount of bubbles. Pretty clear, you can see through it. And I got some small, I don't know, almost like champagne type bubbles. It's decent carbonation, but nothing too crazy. As to the head, it's got 2 fingers of big white frothy head. Looks pretty good. Well, let's give it a shot. Cheers. Body is relatively light. That's skunky as hell. Ooh, skunky. Good Lord. That's funny, because you didn't really pick up a big skunky smell on the nose, but when you take the big sip, it's just skunk, man. But not, this is going to sound really weird. I know a lot of people will say, like Heineken, the skunk is an off taste because they're light struck because of the bottles. I don't know about you guys, like literally every Heineken I ever drank tasted like that, so I just associate that taste with Heineken now, and I accept it as it's okay. I kind of expect the skunk with a skunky Heineken. The other one I think of that is like a Moosehead is very similar. This is skunky like that, but not in a pleasant way. I don't mind the skunkiness in those. The skunkiness in this is a bit off-putting for me. I'm not a huge fan. Now, is it so gross that I wouldn't drink it? Not at all. But it is kind of skunky and dominates the flavor. At the end, you get a little bit of funkiness as well. Not funkiness in like a tart funkiness, but just like an odd flavor. And I'm guessing it's the barley. Usually I kind of like beers made with barley, but in this one it comes off a bit weird. That being said, it's not terrible. It's not a drain pour. It's just not particularly good. And I was thinking, if you're trying to get mangled on cheap beers, you can probably do better than this. So for me, Faxe Premium out of, I guess, Faxe, maybe it's Faxe, Denmark, via Toronto, Ontario, Canada, you get an This is okay. I certainly wouldn't seek this out. Probably wouldn't want another one. But if someone gave it to me, or if I was at a party or somebody gave me one, you could do worse. It's acceptable. So, hopefully you don't think the video is If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you tried Faxe Premium? If so, let me know what you think about it. Like I said, this is the 5% version. I know there's a 10% version and a couple other ones floating around. So if you've had some of the others, let me know what you think about them. Hey, till next time. Cheers.